On day 1, I spawned in as APHMAU, ready to begin my latest Minecraft adventure. And wow, look, I've got 5 hearts. It must be because APHMAU is so good at making friends. But wait, there was nobody else around me in the forest. That didn't seem right. APHMAU always has her friends, especially her best friend, Ian. I started looking around to see if I could find him. Ian, can you hear me? Ian! I don't like hanging out in this creepy forest alone. But I wasn't alone. Suddenly, a huge humbaba came running out of the trees towards me.
Are you calling for Ian? Oh, that annoying little brat has given me enough trouble already. If you're a friend of his, I'm gonna need to kidnap you too.
So that's what happened to Ian. He always knew how to make a bad first impression. I turned and ran away from the forest. There was no way I could fight that big humbaba unarmed.
Get back here, you little twerp. There will be no escape once I reach my full power.
That didn't sound good. I kept running until I couldn't see the humbaba anymore and stopped to catch my breath after the chase. So he kidnapped Ian. I need to get him back. I really don't like that thing the humbaba said about reaching his full power. But I didn't have time to think about it. Suddenly, Endermen were coming out of the trees all around me, grasping for me with their long, spooky arms. Uh-oh, gotta go. I ran off again until there were no Endermen to be seen. I hid underneath a big tree to get some sleep in secret. It's harder to make friends in this world than I thought. On day 2, I woke up with a sore back. Sleeping on the ground under a tree isn't that comfortable. I needed to make myself a base. But first, I needed to get myself some materials. I started breaking down a tree with my bare hands to get the material for a crafting table. Ow, my hands are gonna be sore after that one. I built a crafting table and used that to craft my first set of tools. A wooden pickaxe, a wooden axe, and of course, a wooden sword. Now it's base building time. There wasn't much space in the forest, so I headed out into the plains to start building my base on a wide, even plain. I admired the plains from my new balcony. Nothing can sneak up on me here. That's when I saw a bunch of freaky little creatures crawling towards my base. Are those enteriophages? That doesn't make sense. What are they doing outside of the end? Either way, I needed to get them out of here to finish building my base. I went outside, pulled out my sword, and started attacking them, being careful not to let them attack me. If an enteriophage attacks you, you get ender flu, and nobody wants that. Get out of here, you nasty little viruses! I kept attacking them until there were no more left. And stay out. I went back in to continue working on my base. The first room I finished was my sleeping quarters, complete with a nice, comfy bed. This sure beats sleeping under a tree. On day 3, I woke up feeling well rested and decided to continue expanding my base. I left the plains and walked back into the forest to gather more material with my new tools. After all, I needed to build a room for Ian after I rescue him from the humbaba. On the way through the forest, I discovered an opening into a cave and decided to explore. Who knows what treasures I might find in there? But as I got deeper and deeper into that cold, dark cave, I realized treasure wasn't the only thing inside. Suddenly, an armed Mimikyu snuck up behind me. Before I could even react, it hit me with its mimic sword, taking out a good chunk of my health. Get away from me, you lousy slime! I'm just trying to gather some supplies. But it didn't listen. It just kept attacking me. My sword was like a toy against it. Whatever adventurer it copied a shield from was too strong. For a minute there, I thought I was a goner. Until a friendly Chocobo came running out of the cave towards me.
Hop on my back, kid. It isn't safe in here.
Thanks, that's an offer I can't refuse. I jumped onto the Chocobo's back and rode her out of the cave, leaving the Mimikyu behind us in the dark. We ran until we reached my base, where I finally dismounted off of the Chocobo. Thanks for the save, Chocobo. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
I'm Coco. Huh, guess our names are kind of similar.
You did a great job saving us from that Mimikyu. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have survived without you.
The Mimikyu are just the beginning of it. Haven't you noticed all of the ender creatures that have been bothering everyone around here? It's all Estragon the humbaba's fault.
Wait, the humbaba? I think we should stick together. That's the guy who kidnapped my friend. On days 4 to 5, I invited Coco the Chocobo into my base. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Nice place. Where will I sleep?
That's when I realized he wouldn't really fit through the door. Well, where do you want to sleep?
Personally, I've always felt a little safer underground. Is that doable?
You betcha, Coco. I mined a space underground in my little base and built Coco a cozy underground room to sleep in. By the time we were done, it was nighttime and we were exhausted. If Feels so nice to have a friend staying at my base with me too. But we didn't get to cool off for long. We heard the sound of zombies moaning outside.
Jeez, we can't catch a break, can we?
You hang back this time, Coco. You've already saved my bum once today. Now it's my turn to help you out. I climbed up the stairs and pulled out my sword. It may be wooden, but I could still outwit a bunch of zombies, even at my lower power level. I ran in, taking advantage of my speed to lure the zombie horde away from my base. That'd keep Coco safe. Now it's time to tango, you undead fiends. Once I was far enough away, I started picking them off one by one, defeating each one quickly before the rest could gang up on me. You know that age-old rule, never get surrounded by zombies. This'll teach you to invade my base. It's just rude, you know? I noticed that one of them dropped an enchanted book on the ground. I ran in and picked it up right away. Oh wow, protection level 4. This will improve the strength of my armor. That's perfect. On days 6 to 8, I decided to build a chicken farm on my base so I could collect the eggs and make myself some nice meals. Once the new section of the base was built, I went out into the jungle to find some wild chickens roaming free. Here, little chickens, I'll put up some fences and make you some nests. While I was there, I collected a few apples from the trees too. Munch, munch, munch. Back to full hearts. Nice. And just in time too, because I saw Estragon the Humbubba coming towards me through the trees. He was carrying a bow with flaming arrows.
We meet again, Zozo. You're a long way from your base.
Estragon, I know your name now. What did you do with my friend Ian?
Ian. I'm sick of hearing that name. Almost as sick as I am of keeping him as a hostage. But it'll all be worth it when it's time for the sacrifice.
What? Sacrifice? What are you gonna do to my friend?
I've told you too much already, Zozo. Now it's time for you to run. If you want to survive, that is.
He started shooting fireballs at me, and all I could do was run away. There was no way I could face him with just a wooden sword.
Run, Zozo, run! It doesn't matter. I'll catch you in the end, no matter what.
He kept firing more fireballs as I kept running. There were so many I could barely dodge them all. I just kept ducking and weaving between the trees. They were my only protection. Why can't you just leave me alone?
I can't have you getting in the way of my plans, Zozo. I won't risk it.
Luckily, I was still faster than he was. I was able to keep running until I passed through a gap too small for him. By the time he could make it around, I had hidden behind a tree.
You can't hide forever, Zozo.
Then he angrily spat fire all over. I didn't feel safe until I saw him fade into the distance, looking for me. I'm gonna need to get so much stronger before I can beat that guy. I hope you're safe out there, Ian. On days 9 to 10, I was hanging out with Coco, thinking about how to pass the time while I searched for Ian and figured out Humbaba's evil plan. Coco had a pretty bright idea about that.
How about you build a statue, Zozo? That's a great way to pass the time, and it'll help inspire you to complete your mission.
Great idea, Coco. I'm so glad I have you around to help me out. But what would the statue be? It has to be something Ian would love. I was sitting on the balcony, thinking of what exactly to build. Oh wait, I know! I'd build a statue of Ian. He'd love to have a big statue of himself to look at. I ventured out to the plains where I started mining some more materials. This would help me build my statue and improve my base. I went back to the base and started building the statue's foundation. Heck yeah, that's a good start. I also decided it was time to furnish my home a bit more. I needed somewhere to chill out and maybe read. Oh, I know, I'll build myself a library. That will be the perfect place to study and relax.
Yes.
I built myself a nice, cozy library with bookshelves, chairs, and a fireplace. Now this is the way to live. On days 11 to 12, I was exploring a cave, searching for more materials, when suddenly an ancient spirit villager appeared right in front of me. Oh no, a ghost!
Be not afraid, Zozo.
How do you know my name?
I know many things. As an ancient spirit, it is my duty to guide heroes and warriors who are pure of heart to their destiny. I can sense that you have a mission, Zozo. I can give you the answers, but you must ask the right questions.
Well, a humbaba named Estragon kidnapped my best friend Ian, and I think he's up to something bad. Can you tell me everything you know about him?
Yes, Estragon the Humbaba. There is a great darkness in that creature's heart. He started out like any other Humbaba, living in the desert plains with his family. Like many evil men, Estragon wasn't satisfied with what he had, with the love of his friends and family. He always lusted for power, to gain control over others. His quest to become a more powerful being led him to the end, a realm even darker and further from the overworld than the Nether. He knew that the forces of the end would give him power he only dreamed of, but it exacted a terrible price in return. A sacrifice. He wanted the power of the end. He would need to forsake the overworld and help the Endermen and Enderophages take it over and make it their own. He gains power to perform this ritual through sacrifice. I would wager that this is his intention with your friend, Ian.
What? That's even worse than I thought. I need to get stronger and defeat this guy before he can hurt anyone else. From days 13 to 15, I returned to the cave where I first met Coco the Chocobo. I wanted to get strong enough to defeat Estragon the Humbaba. I needed to at least be strong enough to defeat that Mimikyu. As I got deeper into the cave, I saw it was waiting for me on top of a stalagmite. Clearly he had gotten some flair for the dramatic. As it hopped down towards me, I dodged and went for his back, trying to hit him where he couldn't block with his shield. He took a lot of hits from my wooden sword, but eventually I did manage to defeat it with a good swing to the back. The fight made a difference because I could feel myself leveling up. I went from 5 to 8 hearts, got twice as strong, and gained a new ability, Disguise. APHMAU is great at fitting in, so I could now convince some lower level mob groups that I'm one of them, just as long as I don't act too out of character. This will probably come in handy later. After that, I mined some stone and left the cave. All this will help me rescue Ian and stop Estragon someday. On days 16 to 19, I built myself a crafting room so I could make better gear. I used my crafting table and the stone I'd collected to make myself a new set of gear, a stone sword, a stone pickaxe, and a stone axe. We've just entered the Stone Age, baby. I realized I needed more materials for base building and crafting. That's why I started exploring an underground cavern near my base. The deeper I got into the cavern, the more I noticed how cold it had gotten, even cooler than you'd usually expect for an underground cavern. That's when I noticed an Iceman standing deeper into the cavern, waiting for any intruders to enter. He was walking towards me. I needed to think fast. Now is probably a good time to try out my new disguise ability. As the Iceman approached me, I switched into my Iceman disguise. Hey, who goes there? Hey, it's me, fellow Iceman. So nice to see another one of my cold bros down here. Oh, yeah, I guess it is nice to see another Iceman down here. It looks like my disguise worked. Well, what can I do you for, fellow Iceman? You mind if I mine some materials? I need to upgrade my equipment. Sure thing, bud. Be my guest. My new disguise ability was already coming in handy. With the Iceman's approval, I mined some extra stone and made my way back to my base. On days 20 to 22, I woke up to Coco the Chocobo outside the door to my bedroom, frantically calling for me.
Zozo! Zozo! It's an emergency!
What's wrong, Coco?
Estragon the Humbaba is right outside. I think he's here to see you.
Uh-oh, I better get dressed and go see him then. I grabbed my equipment and ran out of the base. I saw Estragon the Humbaba standing there, waiting for me.
Meet again, Zozo. Our last meeting was cut tragically short. If I recall correctly, you ran away like a coward. Will you run away now?
I'm through running away. I'm ready to take you on, Estragon. Are you brave enough to fight me directly?
Gladly.
Estragon readied his claws and ran at me. We dueled, managing to dodge or parry most of each other's blows.
Impressive. You've gotten a lot stronger since we last fought.
Thanks for providing the encouragement. As we kept fighting, I managed to hold my own, but I was getting tired. Lucky for me, it seemed like Estragon was getting tired too.
You've proven yourself, Zozo, but this isn't even my final form. The next time we fight, it'll be the end of you. Mark my words.
And with that, he ran off, leaving us on a draw. But the next time I would meet him, I finally believed it might be my turn to take home the victory. When I'm done with you, Estragon, the only end you'll need to worry about is your own. On days 23 to 26, I explored an underground cavern, hoping to find some interesting loot. Using torches I placed along the wall to light my way, I walked deeper and deeper into the belly of the cavern. Along the way, I saw a family of spiders skittering along the stone. I really didn't feel like fighting these guys, so I hid in the shadows and watched them pass. Ugh, spiders always give me the creeps. Once the spiders were gone, I kept creeping into the cavern. I could just feel I was getting closer to something worthwhile. Hey, what's that? That's when I discovered an old chest hidden among the rocks. I opened it and found a potion of healing inside. This will help me regain 2 hearts. I better keep this for when I really need it. And if you want more Zozo videos when you really need them, search ZOZO in your search bar and you'll be able to find all my Minecraft adventures. On days 27 to 31, Coco brought me some materials to get started on the statue, and I quickly got to work on it, knowing that it would help to motivate me to take on Estragon and rescue Ian. This is looking rad, but I can't help but feel like it's missing something. I realized pretty quickly that the statue needed some more colors to really bring it to the next level. I made my way over to a nearby desert where I found some abandoned sheep in a pen. Their wool is exactly what we need for the statue. As soon as I tried to get closer, however, a gang of husks appeared from behind the sands. It was too late to use my disguise skill. They'd already seen me, and now I was in trouble. I'm guessing you guys don't want to just talk this one out? Spoiler alert, they didn't. I pulled out my stone sword and started fighting off the gang of angry husks. There were plenty of them, but I was a lot stronger than I used to be. I bet you wished you'd just talked it out with me now, huh? Some husks with bows were hiding on top of a sand dune, firing arrows at me. But they weren't as good a shot as Estragon, so I was able to dodge their arrows and run at them. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. I swung my sword again and again and again, never letting up. By the time I was done, those ancient bad guys were done, and I was free to explore the pen. I found a big stash of wool in a nearby chest. Since I had what I needed, I set the sheep free. Enjoy your freedom. With that done, I made my way back to my base to continue work on the statue. On days 32 to 35, I decided I needed a change of scenery, so I left my base and ventured down to the swamp to see if there were any interesting materials to collect. It's got that fresh swamp smell, but I didn't find any interesting materials. Instead, I found a swarm of monstrous swamp leeches, and I really didn't want them to get too close to me. I think I might be allergic to leeches, especially giant monster leeches. As I tried to run away, I fell into the bog and found even more monstrous swamp leeches slithering through the water towards me. I needed to get out of here. I climbed out of the water and started running as fast as I could as the leeches started slithering up onto the ground behind me. Those monsters must be really hungry, but I don't want to be on the menu, you nasty leeches. I pulled out my sword and I was able to fight a few of them off. But every time I took out a few of them, more crawled out of the water. I was on their turf now. Okay, I'm leaving. Just please stop trying to eat me. After running for a while, I finally managed to escape all the hungry leeches. I stopped for a minute to catch my breath, and that's when the Iron Chicken ran out to meet me.
Please, kind stranger, I need your help.
Of course, tell me what's happening.
My chicken friend was kidnapped and dragged away into a tomb, but it's too heavily guarded for me to go and get her back myself. Will you help me do it?
I will. My friend got kidnapped too, so I know exactly how you feel. I'll get right on it. On days 36 to 39, I followed some instructions the Iron Chicken gave me until I found my way over to the ancient tomb. Of course they'd be hiding the kidnapped chicken in the creepiest place possible. Duh. Getting in wouldn't be easy. I could see a powerful looking stone monster guarding the gate, and I had no idea what other enemies or traps were waiting for me inside. I needed to think of a way to approach this tactically. Wait, I have an idea. The stone monster hadn't seen me yet, so I could use my disguise skill to infiltrate the building without needing to fight the stone monster. Once I was inside, I could try to find the chicken and sneak back out. It'd be a flawless plan, and nobody would need to get hurt. That's the APHMAU way. What could possibly go wrong? Days 40 to 43, I put my plan into action. I used my disguise ability to take on the form of a stone monster and approach the stone monster guarding the entrance to the ancient tomb. Hey there, fellow stone monster. How's it going?
Do I know you?
Well, we're both stone monsters, aren't we? What's up? You guarding the tomb? Can I go in?
Look, buddy, this is a security job. I don't let anyone into this tomb unless I know them. So, who are ya?
I feel like I definitely know you from somewhere.
Are you a friend of my brother, Michael?
Yes, that's it. Some would say I'm his best friend. Me and Mikey go way back. So, you mind if I enter the tomb?
You dope. I don't have a brother. I'm taking you down.
My disguise was foiled. The stone monster ran towards me, and I used my speed and agility to dodge around him and run into the ancient tomb. Don't worry, chicken. I'm coming for you. I ran into the tomb. It was a cold, dark passageway where I could barely see in front of my face. Put up a couple torches along the walls just so I could find my way around. That's when I found a potion of night vision laying around on the floor of the tomb. This is perfect, just what I needed. I took the potion just in time to see a vicious ruby mummy running towards me. It gave me the fright of my life. I dodged the lunging mummy and only then noticed a green chicken cowering behind the mummy. Hey chicken, come with me. We need to get out of this scary dump. I didn't have to tell the chicken twice. She ran after me as I ran out of the tomb, leaving the shambling ruby mummy behind us. We also passed the big, strong stone monster on the way out and left the tomb for good. The green chicken and I returned to the swamp where she was reunited with her good friend, the Iron Chicken.
Thank you, Zozo. I'll never forget this.
No problem, Iron Chicken. I just hope I don't need to go into any more creepy tombs anytime soon. On days 44 to 49, after reuniting with the chickens, I decided I needed a little reminder of the friend I was doing all of this to save. I haven't forgotten about you, Ian. That's why I continued working on the statue with some of the materials I'd been gathering. It was getting a little taller every day. I loved seeing my work get better and better like this. Okay, the statue is coming along nicely, but now I need to beef up my home defenses a little. I mined some stone out of the ground nearby and started building a wall around the base to keep it secure from any potential attackers. I'd like to see Estragon break in now. Oh wait, I should probably build a door. I built a double door into the front of the perimeter gate and mounted torches all around the sides to ward off mobs. After that, I got to work making Ian a room of his own. He needed a good place to stay after I got him back from Estragon. While I was at it, I decided to add a kitchen as well. Can't live off of apples forever. Now my base was really coming along. On days 50 to 53, my new security system was put to the test when Estragon the Humbaba attacked the base again. And this time, he brought friends. There was an army of enderophages, headed by one of Estragon's generals, the mutant Enderman, who was larger and stronger than your average Enderman. You just don't know when to quit, do you, Estragon?
Why would I quit, Zozo? I hold all the cards. You've been getting too big for your boots. This is gonna teach you a valuable lesson about your place in things. Minions, attack!
On Estragon's order, the army attacked. I thought my new perimeter wall would keep me, Coco, and our base safe, but that's when the mutant Enderman came in. He teleported past the wall and opened the door from the inside. That's when the enderophages came storming into the base. Uh-oh, this isn't good. I pulled out my stone sword and tried my best to fight off the enderophages. But as they attacked me, I caught the ender flu and felt myself getting temporarily weaker. It wasn't even strong enough to stop them from getting to Coco the Chocobo.
Zozo, help! They've got me!
Coco, no! But it was already too late. Estragon teleported away with Coco. All that was left at the base was me, the enderophages, and the mutant Enderman. That's it! All of you bad guys are going down! One by one, with my stone sword, I took down all the remaining enderophages, and the mutant Enderman teleported away in fear. The battle gave me enough XP that I gained 2 more hearts and double speed. I quickly ran back inside and opened my fridge and grabbed some milk. Thankfully, drinking it removed the enderflu from me. Now it's time to get serious. I'm not letting Estragon keep Coco and Ian. I'm getting them both back. On days 54 to 57, I decided I needed to improve my base defense system before I took the fight to Estragon and his goons. I reinforced my perimeter wall by making it thicker and adding more layers, and I added lanterns around the outside to ward off any enemy mobs. Good luck teleporting through that, mutant Enderman! The next defense I needed was knowledge. That's why I returned to the underground cavern where the wise ancient spirit villager was waiting for me. Ancient Spirit Villager, I need your help! Estragon keeps attacking me and taking my friends, but I don't know where to even start looking for him to get my friends back. Where should I look?
Well, I think I may have an answer for you, Zozo. Across the forest, in the Badlands, there is an ancient temple, which I believe is owned by Estragon the Humbaba. Perhaps, if you find this place, you can discover Estragon's end portal.
If you find that, you may be able to rescue your friends and stop his terrible plans.
That sounds like a plan. But first, I'm gonna need to improve my weapons and equipment. If I want to take on Estragon, I need to become more powerful than ever. That's when I set off for a nearby mine. On days 58 to 62, I entered the mine and started mining iron ore with my stone pickaxe. This will be perfect for upgrading my gear. But while I was mining, I suddenly felt a presence behind me. I turned and saw the mutant Enderman lurking in the dark. You again? I've had enough of you. The mutant Enderman teleported toward me, but I wouldn't let him get the advantage here. I pulled out my stone sword and finally put an end to the crafty teleporting villain. He had one final trick up his sleeve though. Before I could back off, I got sucked into the ender energies that exploded out of him. By the end of it though, I was in a lot better shape than he was. You picked the wrong side, mutant Enderman. I gathered up the rest of the iron and returned to my base. There, I used my crafting table to create an iron sword, an iron pickaxe, an iron axe, and a full set of iron armor. Looks like I'm getting stronger and stronger every day. Yeah! On days 63 to 66, I continued working on the statue. It was coming along well, but it still had a long way to go. And it was a heck of a lot harder to build without any of my friends here to help me. But I had to keep going, because that's what heroes do. That, and go on adventures, of course. If you want to make sure you never miss an exciting Zozo adventure, hit subscribe and click the bell to get notifications. We promise we've got some even cooler adventures on the way. And you can even suggest your ideas for adventures down in the comments. I love hearing what you have to say. But now, it's time to continue my quest. Let's do this! On days 67 to 70, I followed the ancient spirit villager's instructions to find Estragon's hidden dungeon. I trekked across the forest until I reached the Badlands. There, I finally found a cave entrance guarded by a few floating ghasts. With this kind of security, this has gotta be Estragon's secret dungeon. I bet Ian and Coco are trapped in here. Using my impressive speed, I ran in through the cave's entrance, avoiding the fireballs blasted at me by the patrolling ghast. You can't catch me. I'm gonna get in there and save my friends. On days 71 to 74, I entered the dungeon. There were wither skeleton skulls on the floor, but suddenly, in a black puff of smoke, they reanimated into wither skeletons. Great! More enemies, just what I wanted. I pulled out my iron sword and started dueling the wither skeletons. They were stronger than I expected. Even iron wasn't that effective at stopping them. I jumped to a platform off the side of the bridge to make some distance between us. That sure is a long way down. The wither skeletons were hesitant to follow over the gap. Then I took a look around and noticed something sitting on the ground nearby. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Whoa, a mace! That's one of the most powerful weapons out there. Looks like I'm getting some good luck after all. With the mace, I made short work of the wither skeleton squad, blasting them all into a pile of ebony bones. Not so tough now, huh? After defeating the wither skeletons, I noticed a gate at the back of the dungeon. I just knew that whatever I wanted, it was hiding behind that door. Let's go! On days 75 to 78, I walked through the gate at the back of the dungeon and entered Estragon's lair. The Humbaba was standing there, waiting for me, with a huge end portal on the ground behind him.
I bet you're proud of yourself. You've come so far. And what a shame it'll be what happens to you in the end. Do you have any final regrets?
Yeah, not taking you down sooner! I pulled out my new mace and ran toward Estragon. He tried to dodge, but I was too fast for him. All it took was one good strike, and Estragon was thrown across the room. Needless to say, he didn't seem happy.
You really have gotten stronger.
And I've gotten angrier. You'll see just how angry I can get if you don't tell me where I can find my friends.
Oh, you'll find them. But to find them, you'll need to follow me.
Estragon jumped into the end portal and disappeared. I wasn't going to let him get away, so I jumped in right after him. On day 79 to 84, I arrived in the end, where Estragon the Humbaba was already waiting for me on top of some kind of tower. The sky above was pitch black. Something about this place made me shudder all the way down to my bones.
Welcome, Zozo, to the end. I hope you find it as hospitable as I do.
Give it up, Estragon. It's over. Tell me where you're keeping my friends.
Oh, they're right here, Zozo, but you'll never see them again. Isn't that just tragic?
Now this creep was really making me angry. Not as weak as I used to be, Estragon. I can defeat you now.
Perhaps you can, but can you beat me after this?
Estragon the Humbaba started floating off the top of the tower. I could feel an energy building in the air. What was happening here?
Prepare to witness true power, Zozo.
In a puff of poisonous purple mist, Estragon harnessed the power of the end and transformed into an Ender Dragon, one of the most powerful enemies imaginable.
This is what it's all been building to. I've harnessed the power of the end and become stronger than I could have ever hoped to be. Soon, with the help of my Endermen and my Endriophages, I will conquer the world.
I'll never let you do that.
You'll be too dead to stop me.
Estragon the Ender Dragon fired a purple fireball at me. I had no hope of surviving like this. I ran away and hopped back into the end portal. If I couldn't figure something out soon, we'd all be doomed. On days 85 to 89, I ran back through the forest to my base. By the time I got back there, I was exhausted from the journey and from my last fight. I needed to take a nap and get my energy back. That's when I got an unexpected guest. The ancient spirit villager floated into the room and woke me up. Ancient spirit villager, what are you doing here?
Seems the situation has become graver than ever, Zozo. Our shared enemy, Estragon, has taken the form of an Ender Dragon.
I know that, ancient spirit villager. I saw it happen.
Then you know how much is at stake, what we must do in order to stop him and save the overworld from his tyranny.
You still think I can beat him?
If you wish to save your friends, Ian and Coco, then you will have to. But you will need to get stronger first. Here, take this.
The ancient spirit villager gave me a sharpness enchantment, which would make my mace even stronger. But if I wanted to beat this new Estragon, I needed to make my spirit stronger as well as my weapons. Feeling well rested, I went out to the statue and put on the final finishing touches. It looked amazing, just like my friend Ian. I knew when he finally saw it, he'd love it. He always was a little full of himself. That's when the ancient spirit villager appeared to me one more time.
Zozo, my time is almost at an end, but I have a message to impart to you. If you wish to survive the wrath of the Ender Dragon, you must wear the ultimate armor. You will find it in a chest, hidden in the nether wastes. There is a portal to the nether on the stone shores. You can do it. I believe in you.
And with that, the ancient spirit villager faded away. I would need to do the rest alone. Thank you, ancient spirit villager, for everything. On days 90 to 94, I used the sharpness enchantment the spirit villager gave me on my mace to make it stronger. I took my enhanced mace and made my way to the stone shores. I could see the nether portal glowing in the distance. It's now or never. Have I made that joke before? There were a few zombies scattered along the shoreline. When they saw me, they immediately started running towards me. Thankfully, by this point, I was way too strong for them. I took them all out with my mace and ran towards the portal. Nothing is gonna stop me now. I jumped into the portal and was suddenly transported to the fiery nightmare world of the Nether. Now I've gotta find that chest. This place is way bigger than I thought. As I wandered further into the nether waste, I was attacked by a horde of zombified piglins, all oinking furiously. Guys, I'm just looking for the chest. I don't want any trouble. They weren't interested in listening. Instead, they all attacked me and gave me no choice but to fight back. Take this and that. My mace was so powerful now, it only took one strike each to destroy them. The biggest problem was that my mace was slow, so it took me a while to work through them all. They really should give you guys a raise. Once the zombified piglins were taken care of, I continued exploring until I found an empty bastion remnant. This must be where all those zombified piglins came from. I wonder if they were guarding something. I crept inside, and that's when I saw it, the chest, the exact thing that the ancient spirit villager told me about. I opened it up and found something amazing inside, a set of netherite armor, the strongest armor ever. This would be perfect for keeping me safe against the wrath of Estragon. With the armor in my inventory, I ran back to the portal. It was time to return to my base and prepare. Don't worry, Ian and Coco, I'm coming back for you soon. On days 95 to 96, I continued the prep for my final battle back at the base. I used my library to craft a few new enchantment books that'd give me the edge in the fight against Estragon. Even though my netherite armor was already the strongest armor you could get your hands on, it could still be stronger. I gave it the projectile protection enchantment so I could withstand anything that Estragon the Ender Dragon threw at me. But I didn't stop there. When you think dragons, you also think fire. That's exactly why I also gave my netherite armor the fire protection enchantment. You won't be able to toast me now, Estragon. But I couldn't just load all my efforts into defense. My mace was powerful, but it was also slow, and it was no good at long range. Not exactly great when your enemy can fly. That's why, just to be sure, I also made a throwing axe to keep in my inventory, just in case Estragon decided to cheat and use his wings. And to think, I started this journey as just a fun YouTuber. Now I'm a powerful dragon hunting warrior. Let's go! On days 97 to 98, I made the hard trek across the forest toward the cave where Estragon was keeping his end portal. I was nervous. After all, the Ender Dragon was one of the strongest enemies I'd ever faced. But I knew in my heart that I could win this thing and save my friends. Do you believe I can do it? Let me know down in the comments, along with what adventure you'd like me to take on next. Anytime you want more Minecraft adventures with me, Zozo, just search ZOZO for more. That's when I noticed that dark, scary dungeon right in front of me. Okay, Estragon, it's now or never. I'm gonna defeat you once and for all. On day 99, I entered the dungeon where Estragon was keeping his portal to the end. If I didn't defeat him here, he might become all-powerful and spread the Ender creatures all over the world. I can't just let that happen. I jumped into the end portal and was immediately transported to the main island of the end. I saw Coco the Chocobo and Ian trapped in cages, watching helplessly, while the mighty Ender Dragon floated up above.
Ha! You actually came back! I can't tell whether you're brave or just foolish, but I'll destroy you either way.
Coco and Ian looked amazed to see me here, and I was so happy to see them.
Zozo, I can't believe you actually came back to help us.
This is literally the coolest thing you've ever done. Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna save you. That just made Estragon laugh.
I thought it might be nice for them to see you get destroyed. It's a little parting gift from me to you, you pathetic little weakling.
Who are you calling weakling? It was time to level up. I equipped my mace and felt myself beginning to change. I upgraded, reaching twice my height and strength, my final form. Let's do this, Estragon. Estragon immediately swooped down towards me, doing the Ender Dragon dive. I quickly ran and dodged out of the way as he collided with the ground. That was too close. I grabbed my mace and ran towards him, ready to deal a blow, but he was already up and flying around again. Oh, come on, that's not fair. He unleashed a purple fireball that flew down towards me and exploded, filling the area around me with that lethal pink haze. I could hardly breathe. I needed to get out of here before it depleted my health. This is even worse than Ender Flu. The Ender Dragon had so many attacks, I could barely keep up. Just as I was recovering from the poison gas, the Ender Dragon flew towards me again, spewing a barrage of normal fireballs down onto me. If I wasn't wearing my enchanted netherite armor, I probably would have been melted, right there and then. Despite my armor, they still dealt some damage, taking out 2 of my hearts. Thankfully, I still had my healing potion to get me back to full health. Bottoms up. And Estragon certainly didn't like that.
Face it, Zozo, I'm all-powerful. You can't stop me. I will rule the overworld.
But I wasn't done just yet. I grabbed my throwing axe and prepared for the next attack. This time, I'd be ready. You want to finish me off, Estragon? Come on and do it then.
If you insist, Zozo.
I saw Estragon preparing for another dive towards me. This would be my chance. As he got closer, I threw my axe at him, throwing off his arc and sending him collapsing into the ground with an earth-shaking crash. Before Estragon the Ender Dragon could get himself back up into the air, I pulled out my powerful mace and ran over, straight towards his head. I could see him starting to panic.
Wait, Zozo, no, you can't do this.
This is what happens when you kidnap my friends. Boom! With one strike of my mace to his head, Estragon the Ender Dragon was destroyed for good. It was over.
You did it, Zozo.
Yeah, you won. On day 100, me, Ian, and Coco escaped the end. I let them run ahead while I turned around to throw my mace into the portal to destroy it, so nobody like Estragon would ever come back. The portal started bubbling up, so I rushed to get far away from it. When I turned around, I saw a dozen of tiny falling stars raining down on the dungeon and portal, slowly reducing it to rubble. Then we made our way back to the base to finally hang out and chill. The adventure may have been over, but now with my friends back, the fun had just begun.